Okay, now we're live, and we've got to turn this bird off. You go off. You can come over here, you stay with me, or you... Okay. The bird doesn't want to come and play. That's fine. Okay. The end of obesity. Unfortunately, we don't have our guest today. Looks like she's chickened out or didn't know. So I have no viewers. So at this point, it's just a thing. Me alone, all alone. So you can see the dog in the background, as well as a kicking bag. It's one way to lose. Okay. You. So while we were waiting for no one to show up, what I was thinking about for this particular broadcast was it's about setting habits, and one of the things that is the most difficult thing to do is actually to set good habits, and to do that, set a schedule. And so a part of setting schedules is what this particular program was meant to be, was to set a schedule 20 minutes every Friday. I'm also doing another project in terms of 5 minutes at noon will be just sort of a diary, a video diary, but setting it at noon, setting it for 5 minutes, forcing me to do that particular thing. And so that what that does is it sets accountability. And in dieting, one of the more important things to think about is accountability. And what I have here, you're familiar with, is called a phone. I'm a big fan of the application MyFitnessPal because it allows you to keep track and it keeps you accountable, and it reminds you as well as rewards you for keeping track of your progress. Other thing to remember about habits is there's sort of a 21-day rule that takes about 21 days for your physiological automatic response to sort of kick in. So remember, the hardest part is the first 21 days, 3 weeks. And that's a good rule of thumb to go by. I know for myself it takes about 21 days for me to kick into a very routine. It's a lot easier to do. So you can't kick yourself. You've got to remember that first 21 days is where you're sort of setting your goals. Once you get that 21 days down, it's a lot easier to keep your schedules and stuff. So you're most vulnerable during that 21-day period. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to download. This is a capture program, it has nothing to do with what we're going to do today, but MyFitnessPal. I use it, again, because I think it's the simplest so far that I've seen. There's also one called Spark People, which is very popular. Either one works, but it is important to keep. I think what I'm doing, I'm trying to figure out how to. I used to have it on this phone, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on this phone. But it's for Android, and of course you can do it on the computer. Fitness. And maybe I'll go ahead and take us there since no one else is around. I'm going to start this download right now and let it install or download. It's probably going to ask for a password here in a bit. So let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and take us to no chats. Okay, so nobody's here. That's fine. So we're going to do some screen sharing. We'll see how this goes. Okay, we are screen sharing. Open system preferences. Okay, so I don't have security and privacy. Oops, privacy. Well, what I'm doing is I don't have the plug-in, apparently. Oh, I have to unlock it, that's right. VA. Watch me mouth my password, of course, that would be bad. Oh, you can't see me, that helps. Okay. Now let's see if that works. Aha! Okay, let me see here. Are we screen sharing? Oh, okay. Now I am going to be anal about my time. It's 20 minutes is the rule. So if I am doing this, okay. So this is the website I'm referring to. I can't remember if I did. I think I did use welcome back. It's been a while. No thanks. Okay, there I am. Okay, this is probably not accurate, but these are just people that have commented. .kilo since his last weigh. Okay, Tony Q here. Okay, but the things that I like about this particular one is the food tools. I divided it up into times a day that I eat. You can see I haven't added anything for today. You can add things that you banana. Of course, I can't spell, so it makes it very difficult. No skin. Add that. We hope this is working. It does appear to be working, so that's good. Again, so I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on here. Okay. Okay, see what's going on here. So that was a banana I had today. What else did I eat today? Truthfully, that's pretty much it, except for some coffee and things. So anyways, this is a good, you can log, of course, your exercise. Then you have community, people to keep you honest. So that's the tool. The other nice thing, again, is this app on the phone. And it did install. Very strange. It has a scanner for barcodes, which I think is very cool. And so that helps you keep your goals, but it keeps you accountable. Diary, keeping a diary of what you're doing. Opening. That's interesting. Sorry, seem to be. I'm going to invite somebody here. finding the person. There she is. She's the one that's supposed to show up. See if it works. For the last 17 minutes, I'm trying to get back to the video again. What's it doing? We're on screen sharing right now. Just click screen sharing and screen sharing off. See? You can't see what I'm seeing though. You see the camera view, but you don't see the screen that I can select going back to that. So that's good. Okay. All right. No, I sometimes wonder about whether the camera angle's good or not. But anyhow, so those are the habit formings. Fake it till you make it. Create rules for yourself. I don't know, habit forming. It's really more interesting to talk to someone about these things because we have our own sort of self-dialogue that kind of messes us up a lot. And that's where getting an external advice from someone else, what they're dealing with, sometimes helps you think about your own things. Because you got to remember, our voices in our head are still in our head. It's nice to get an alternative voice. That's where conversation is good. And that's sort of the idea of this particular thing is take a subject to try to keep it focused, keep the time limit to a very specific amount of time. Prepare, do it once a week. How are you doing on your goals? Right now my goal is simply to get started. So this is the saying, okay, every Friday at 10 a.m. for 20 minutes you're going to do a live broadcast for what it's worth. Maybe worth nothing. And sometimes people are too concerned about external results to think about internal results. It's the habit that you're trying to develop, and hopefully that's its own reward. And that's why I was working with Laura in terms of she has her goals, I have my goals, and realizing I've really dug myself into a deep hole again, and a lot of it's psychological, emotional baggage of trying to get it right. And I do believe there is something in terms of doing quality video, quality content, but there's also another aspect of it. It's just doing it, being there, being accountable for being there. And so that's something that I'm trying to work on this year, is working on my accountability, but then my schedule is creating a schedule that both works for me and holds me accountable. And I need to distinguish between different things. So I started writing actual channels for the YouTube. It allows you to create different channels, and in that sense maybe organize what I'm doing, because I find creativity is, from a dieting standpoint, takes a lot out of you and energy. You need to balance your energy, divide your energy up into different categories. So, and that's where habit forming is coming into form. So a habit within a habit in this case, and this is the discussion of developing a habit. This broadcast, 20 minutes once a week, doing it hell or high water. Now I'm doing 2 of these. I'm doing the 5-minute at noon every day, and then I'm doing this once a week. I'm hoping the 5-minute at noon will keep me aware of scheduling. Okay, you have a schedule at noon. You need to do this at noon. Part of the problem I have with dieting is that we tend to sort of eat irregularly. It's one of the funny things, sort of a controversy actually, in anti-fragile thinking. The idea is you don't do things at a regular interval, you do things at irregular intervals. But from a dieting standpoint, regularity may break down some of the inhibitions that we have towards sticking to a diet plan. So the schedule is actually a part of the structure in terms of dieting. Now, in terms of anti-fragile, having an irregular behaviors helps develop anti-fragile things. Now, maybe at some point I'll discuss anti-fragile and dieting, but I found it very interesting in the concepts of anti-fragile that its irregularity, non-formal structures that help build durability, survivability. And I think the concept is still growing. It's an economic theory as well as we can apply it in just things. And I will probably post a link to Anti-Fragile, the book that sort of talks about that. And I think it's a good concept, even if it's wrong. It's a concept that's legitimate. I mean, when you define a word, you say, what does the word mean? How does it work? And I think in that sense, habits and anti-fragile. I really think that's what I'm going to link to in this video, what I ran across here. So MyFitnessPal is a habit building tool. Make a schedule to do something to reinforce what you're doing, to make it legitimate. So that's why the End of Obesity is a video broadcast that's 20 minutes, and the schedule time is over. So I will say, without further ado, so until next time.